It can be very fun to imagine what your type specialty would be if you were a gym leader in your favorite region. Then it would be even fun to decide where you would be stationed and what your team would be consisting of. Today I'm going to take that concept, but take it to the next level. I do have some rules though. Number one, I cannot copy the same type specialty as an existing gym leader, but I can overlap with the Elite Four since it's been done back in the Indigo League. Number two, I will default to 5 Pokemon if I'm a single battle gym leader, or a 4 Pokemon if I do double battles. Rule number 3, my gym must be located in a non-existing gym town, but I won't always be able to avoid it. And finally, number 4, for each gym, I need to assign a gym puzzle and post-game team members. We begin with my home region, Kanto, and as much as I hate to say this, Kanto only has 3 typings that it does not have covered at that region. Normal, flying, and bug. Now, despite there being normal and flying types, I'm going to choose the bug type because I feel like the bug types did not get much love back in Kanto. My team will consist of Beedrill, Butterfree, Parasect, Venomoth, and my ace, Pinsir. Should there be a post-game rematch, I will add on Scyther. For the gym puzzle, I propose a giant maze. I imagine that the trainer has to go through the maze and collect a bunch of bug stickers. Then along the way, he'll battle a bunch of bug catchers that I have personally trained in the art of battling with bugs. For the gym location, I propose Viridian City. It already has a gym building there, but by the time the player gets their last badge, or rather, more specifically, right after that, the gym leader suddenly disappears, never to be seen again. So I figured it would be fun to take over an existing gym after Giovanni disappears. Hi, Future Sand here. So I need to explain the reason behind the rule of assigning myself either 4 or 5 Pokemon. I am treating it as if I were the final gym leader, so that way you can all figure out what my team would consist of simply by removing and de-evolving Pokemon. Thank you, and anyways, back to the video. Next is the Johto region, and I'm going to be the water-type gym in that region, and I am going to specialize in double battles. My team will consist of Slowking, Lantern, Quagsire, and my ace, Politoed. Should there be any post-game rematches, I will then add on Lapras and Feraligatr. For the gym puzzle, I propose that the player goes around to 5 way shrines and collects water in a ewer and fills up a dive ball pattern in the center of the gym, all while battling swimmer trainers to clear the path. Next is Hoenn, and I need to clarify something before I begin building my team. My team will be featured in 2 versions of Hoenn. The first one it will be featured in is in Pokemon Emerald. And then it will also appear in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, where Mega Evolution is featured in. So the reason why I'm announcing this is because the team that I use in Emerald will be my same gym team in the Gen 6 Hoenn remakes. Now, while it would make sense for me to become Hoenn's first grass-type gym leader, but instead, I'm actually going to become its first ground-type gym leader. My team will consist of Golem, Flygon, Claydol, Camerupt, and my ace, Swampert. For post-game rematches, I will then add on Donphan. And since this is my team in Oris as well, my Mega will be Swampert. For the gym puzzle, I propose that the player goes through a dark cave. I imagine they have to navigate their way to the gym leader's room through a large dark cave. Then along the way, they will be battling a mixture of wild Pokemon and trainers as well. For the gym's location, I propose Lily Cove City. It's a big, thrilling city that has a major locations. It's got a Pokemon Center, a Pokemart, it's got the contest hall, and it's got some other cool landmarks like a shopping building and a lighthouse. So I figured that would be the perfect place for my gym to be built. Next is Sinnoh, and for this region, I'm going to be a normal type specialist, which is convenient because I'm actually in the middle of a playthrough of Pokemon Shining Pearl as a normal type gym leader. My team will consist of Staraptor, Beeble, Lopunny, Snorlax, and my ace, Licky Licky. For post-game rematches, I will then add on Ursaring. For the gym puzzle, I propose a trivia challenge. I imagine the challenger will be asked various questions about normal types. Then the challenger has to answer them all correctly to progress. Every time the challenger answers a question wrong, they gotta battle one of my last trainers who specializes in normal types. But if they get the question right, they can skip the battle and move on to the next question. And to make it more challenging, I would even make the questions more difficult to answer correctly as they progress through the challenge. For the gym location, I'm going to be stationed in Jubilife City. I chose Jubilife City for the following reasons. Number one, it is the biggest city in the region to not have a gym built there. Number two, it houses the trainer school, as well as a building that was the earliest version of trading Pokemon with someone from across the world. And number three, which is the most important reason of all, is that in the routes before that city, you can encounter normal types significantly early. Next is Unova, and for this region, I'm going to be its first Steel type specialist. However, for this particular case only, I will be building two separate teams. That is because there are two different versions of Unova. The original version of Unova, which is in black and white, and the most recent version, which takes place 2 years later after the events of Black and White. My team in Black and White will include Excadrill, Escavalier, Durant, Bisharp, and my ace, Klinklang. For post-game rematches, I will then add on Ferrothorn. For my Black 2, White 2 team, I will have Excadrill, Lucario, Escavalier, Magnezone, and still my ace, Klinklang. But for post-game rematches, I will then add on Metagross. For the gym puzzle, I propose the turning of gears. I imagine that the player will have to solve a puzzle involving the rotating of some gears in order to match them up properly. Then during the puzzle, trainers will come out and battle them. For the gym location, I'm actually going with Anvil Town. It's a small little town that players often don't go and visit during their time playing the games. So I figured it would be fun to make Anvil Town a city you actually have to visit to go for another gym badge. And it's very easy to reach right after you battle Elisa by simply going to the subway and taking the train to Anvil Town. I also chose Anvil Town because of the giant gears that operate the train track system in the background. Next is Kalos, and before we continue on, I need to first make a few disclaimers. I will only be using Pokemon from the X and Y version Pokedexes. I won't be using anything from the Legend ZA Pokedex, mainly because there are Mega Evolutions in there that didn't appear until Legend ZA, along with Pokemon that didn't appear until the Alola region or Galar. So, To make this simple on myself, I won't be relying on Legend ZA. My type specialty in Kalos will be Poison. I'm choosing Poison because it's absurd that despite there being 3 weaknesses that Fairy has, the only person who represents one of them is Wickstrom of the Elite Four with Steel types. So I figured they should feature more of them, and Poison is a good typing. My team for this gym will consist of Scolipede, Dragalge, Nidoking, Drapion, and my ace, Venusaur. For post-game rematches, I will then add on Toxicroak. For the gym puzzle, I imagine an obstacle course. I imagine that the player would have to go through an entire creek-based obstacle course by riding along a giant log to each platform. Then they'd have to throw up a switch to turn on a bridge to go to the next log, and then repeat this process until they reach me. This gym puzzle is actually inspired by the puzzle used in Marlin's gym in Black 2 and White 2, where instead of logs, he uses giant lily pads. For the gym's location, I proposed Curryway Town. Yes, it's a bit of a small little town, but it's the last gymless town you go to as you get closer to challenging the league. It's also, ironically, the last place you ever battle Professor Sycamore. Next is Alola, and before I continue on, I need to make a disclaimer that I made back in Unova. I will also be having 2 separate teams for my type specialty because there are 2 different versions of the Alola region. One version which takes place in Sun and Moon, and then another version which takes place in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Also, I will be an Island Kahuna instead of a trial captain for 3 reasons. Number 1, you don't typically battle the trial captains during the main story. Number 2, they don't use their totem Pokemon, which would also give them a big advantage. And number 3, which is the most important reason of all, is that trial captains actually age out of their position. They are explicitly teenagers who are enrolled into the position who then retire once they turn 20. And I am 5 years too old for that position. Now, technically, the only type that I can specialize in Alola is the Ice type. However, if I include all the typings that are specialized by team organization members or special boss trainers, then that ups my list. So I can choose either Ice, Bug, Poison, Psychic, or Dragon. And of the 5 types that I just mentioned, I'm going to pick the Dragon typing. In Sun and Moon, my Dragon type team will consist of Salamence, Turtonator, Flygon, Alolan Exeggutor, and my ace, Kameo. But in optional post-game rematches, I will then add on Drampa. For my Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon exclusive team, I will have Dragonite, Turtonator, Tyrantrum, Alolan Exeggutor, and still my ace, Kameo. But in optional post-game rematches, I will then add on Goodra. Now I'm in a special situation here because instead of hosting my grand trials in a specific town, I host them on a specific island. So instead, I choose Pony Island because 2 of my Pokemon can be found there. It should also be stated that Pony Island is where the Dragon Trial always occurs. Next is Galar, and before I begin, I need to clarify something here. For the rest of this video, I will only be relying on Pokemon found on the mainline Pokedex for each game. I will not be using Pokemon that appear on a DLC Pokedex only. For this region, however, I'm going to specialize in flying types. My team will consist of Talonflame, Gyarados, Ninjask, Rotom, and my ace, Corviknight. For post-game rematches, I will then add on Noivern. And because this is Galar, my ace Corviknight will Gigantamax. For the gym puzzle, I propose skydiving. I imagine that the player would have to put on some skydiving equipment and free dive from platform to platform, all the while avoiding obstacles. Then on each of the 3 platforms, there would be a pilot waiting to battle them. For my gym location, I choose Turf Field. It's the perfect place for a flying type gym because of the big hill in the background. Last is Paldea, and in this region, I will be specializing in dark types. My team will consist of Mabastiff, Crocodile, Meowscarada, Unovan Zoroark, and my ace, Dark Terra Hariyama. But for post-game rematches, I will then add on Weavile. For the gym puzzle, I propose the lighting of lamp posts. I imagine that the player would have to light up lampposts as they get further into the dark alleyway, but along the way they would be running into artists who would challenge them to a battle in order to light the lamppost. For the gym location, I propose Mezagoza. It is the largest city in the entire region, plus it's home to the legendary Academy, and it connects right up to the Pokemon League. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and made it to the end, consider subscribing and turn on notifications to this channel. It really helps the channel. We're trying to get this channel 50 subscribers so we can start doing live streams. And again, thank you all so much for watching. And if you want to see another Poke Discussion video, click the video on the left to watch my every type specialty for every admin video. If you want to see a playthrough, however, click the playlist on the right to watch my Pokemon Sword playthrough as a flying type gym leader. Bye guys.